Okay, picking up where I left off. Why do I like Mara this year? I'm going to answer a couple questions, and then I'm going to talk about Mara specifically. Couple things about me. One, I'm going to give you a full thesis on Mara. Two, this thesis is 100% chart based. I don't know a thing about Mara as a company. I have intentionally avoided every single thing that could tell me anything about this company. I don't know about all the gigawatts it has. I don't know about hyperscalers or data centers. I just know it's in a classification, and I'm going to show you why I like Mara. Three, should you go all in? No, because just off the top of my head, if you here, let me open up something real quick. If you went all in on Mara as it traded sideways for the last, I don't know, year and a half, you would have missed everything thus far. You would have missed a five bagger on AMD. You would have missed gold trades. You would have missed Upstart. You would have missed SpaceX. You would have missed Coin. You would have missed Palantir. You would have missed Netflix. You know, there's in your head, you could be saying some of those are doing okay, some of those are not. They're all a mixed bag right now. But the factor of the matter is, every single trade this year, except for Meta, has provided take profits as powder to get you longer on this trade. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing why I like this trade. You don't need the leverage, because eventually, it's going to go, and I'll show you where I think it's going to go, and I'm going to back it up with other charts. But the point of the matter is if you went all in on Mara, I can't even think off the top of my head how many trades have been closed thus far in profit, but I know that you would have missed out on those. Unfortunately, my legacy channel, I don't have the willpower to go browse through that right now and read them off. But they're there if you want to. Anyway, let's talk about what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to go to 60 plus from 12. Not in a straight line, and maybe not even before some of our other plays hit. Remember, we are long in other things right now, specifically Coin, SpaceX, Upstart, Netflix, Apple, soon to be NVAX when we get our 880 load, right? Nucor, which was a great play this year. Actually, I'm not long Nucor right now, but we were long all the way up until this recent consolidation range, right? That 173 to 273 long. We took Oxy long this year. We're waiting for our short to set up, but there's just been so many plays to hit while we're doing it. But back to Mara. We're not going to start taking profits to about 60, and then I think the overthrow could go above 100. Now let me quantify Mara with a bunch of charts. Okay, Bitcoin to Mara ratio. This has to back test. This is telling us that as Bitcoin goes up, Mara should go up faster to about a 50% upside over Bitcoin. Okay, so if you're willing to be long Bitcoin, you should be long Mara. Remember, all of these ratios only work if you have a thesis. So, right, my thesis is a VIX capitulation. My thesis is a DXY capitulation, right? These ratios make no sense unless you have a thesis to pair it to, okay? So you have to take for granted that the thesis I've been working through this year with you guys is in fact reality. Like, you have to accept the fact that I think DXY is heading down to 96 before the next bounce and then lower. You have to accept the fact that I believe that VIX is going to capitulate to about 1240 before its first bounce. Like, these are all things that you have to be on board with before you even follow me any deeper on this. But anyway, Riot Mara, should we be bullish? Yes, we're bullish both of these, but we trade between the two. Right now, this has to sweep the low. This says that as Riot goes up, Mara should go up harder. That means Riot could go to our target, and we are still long Riot, but Riot could go to 50s. Mara could easily, maybe not double it, but beat it by about 30%, okay? Why did we get out of the semi trade? Because semis hit the targets. This is the rotation trade. We expect this to come capitulate down and retest the 200. If that happens, that means even if AMD goes up, which I expect, just like Bitcoin, that Mara should go up harder. Mara versus the dollar. This means as the dollar capitulates, Mara should outperform. And here's the deal with this one. My target is a 10 bagger. It's a 10 bagger in shares. Now, if you were sitting and knowing this was my target all year and holding through this, you might be discontented, but that's why we're not all in, right? So the idea is we are going to hold high time frame shares till we get here, and we will trade in and out of the position just like we have. Just like I have had this target for years, but at the same time, I still took profit on Mara at 24 last year, because eventually you have to realize that we're not going to be able to time the bottom. So there has to be profit takes and there has to be reheads, right? I am suspicious that we're about to go very soon, and which is why I'm having this video with you right now. But at the same time, I'm not beyond profit taking, right? I will still profit take on the way up at resistances, because if I'm wrong, we will stop out of this trade and profit, and our basis should be right around $10. So if we hit this move, it should be a fantastic win. MaraVix has a lot of upside, just like MaraDXY. Right to, yeah, this is not a chart you would read as like DXY, where it could be a 10 bagger. This is just like a general directional chart where I expect it to go higher relative to VIX. Okay. And the further distances it has to cover, it tells me it's more likely to squeeze. It does not tell me the distance it's going to go, only as we get closer what to look for. Okay. But that's about it. The idea here, guys, is that every chart is aligning towards this thesis that this should go soon. That's why it's my favorite stock right now. And it has been for a while, because the leaps on this thing were 7 to 8 cents for 7 months of time. The out of the money leaps, and it's telling it, if this even hits its back test, those leaps are already 5 baggers. And if it hits the target, if it starts going to 60, you're starting to look at like 70 baggers for leaps, right? So there's no belief around this stock. The option pricing is cheap, and the chart is good, and that's about as far as I want to go with that. There's no fundamental belief in this company at all. In fact, if you were to look back on this, you would know that I'm targeting a higher low off of this, right? Like, I'm saying that this is a big bull flag and we have to test all-time highs. And then you would say, wait a second, this company used to be a shell company. It's not even, it wasn't even a Bitcoin company, right? It was not a miner. This is 2 separate companies pasted on the same chart. So why do the Fibonacci extension targets and the back test still work? Because it's all a fraud. It's all a joke, right? Things just travel around by algorithm, travel around back tests. We are going to back test higher, and we are doing that because that's how it works. You know, it doesn't matter that this is 2 separate companies. So next time somebody tries to explain some sort of fundamental analysis to me, I will use this as an example, as I always have in the past. There is no fundamental analysis that explains why 2 separate charts on the same stock chart can be stitched together and still obey technical analysis. It's a broken system that travels because algorithmically people just trade in the direction of wherever the back tests need to go. The back test for Mara needs to go higher. Everything on my chart right now indicates that this should be the next squeeze. So we are long Mara. We are long Mara with a great position. We are long Mara with a high target. And the options for Mara, especially the leaps for March, are extremely cheap. Okay, so something to think about. I have a lot of this, but I have a lot of other stuff too, right? I'm not all in. However, I think this is a nice opportunity that's coming up. I hope that this makes sense. Know that all of these breakdowns, like I said before, rely on me being not only correct about direction on every single chart that I just went over with you, but also correct on my thesis about DXY, VIX, AMD, and some of the other things I charted against, which aren't even on this list anymore. If I'm not right about this thesis falls apart, but I think this thesis will hold water and will be proven correct. Okay, so I will keep you on the right side of this trade. I just wanted to explain to you why I think this is a unique opportunity, why I think it's not a great idea to go all in, and why I think even if you opt out of leverage, it can still be a big win, because we have very specific places to take profit, very specific places to high or low and get back in. Okay, so take care, guys. Hopefully that makes sense, and I will stop this video as the second part of today's 2 videos.